You have looked upon the story of your life, my child, and you have come to believe that you have reached the final pages. You have surveyed the long road behind you with all its twists and turns, its joys and its sorrows, its victories and its defeats, and you have concluded that the journey is now, for all intents and purposes, complete. Perhaps it is the number of years you have lived, the weariness in your bones, or the magnitude of a recent loss or failure. But a sense of profound finality has settled upon your spirit. They, the world, look at your circumstances and often agree. Speaking of retirement, of endings, of a time to quietly step aside, you carry the heavy weight of what feels like a finished story. A book whose most dramatic and significant chapters have already been written. And in this belief, a quiet and noble sadness has become your companion. The grief for a great adventure that is now over. You remember the feeling of the open road, don't you? My beloved, the thrill of new beginnings, the energy of your youth, the passionate pursuit of your dreams. You faced your dragons. You climbed your mountains. You navigated your wildernesses. You have loved. You have lost. You have learned. You have striven. And now, you stand at what feels like the journey's end, looking back at the landscape of your past, and you see a complete narrative. You see the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and you have settled into what you believe is the epilogue, a time for quiet reflection, a slow and gentle winding down before the book is finally closed. This feeling of finality can be particularly poignant when it is marked by a great loss, the end of a lifelong career, the departure of a cherished loved one, the shattering of a central dream. These events can feel like a definitive, the end, written across the pages of your life. The primary plotline, you believe, has been resolved, albeit perhaps tragically. And what remains now feels like a postscript, a life to be lived in the shadow of a greater story that is now over. You have accepted this ending. You have mourned, and you have resigned yourself to a future that feels less vibrant, less significant, less filled with the thrilling potential of an unfolding adventure. Or perhaps the sense of an ending has come not from a single event, but from a slow, creeping exhaustion. The journey has been long. The battles have been many, and your spirit is simply tired. You have poured out all your energy, all your hope, all your strength into the chapters that have already been written, and you look within yourself now and feel you have nothing left to give. No more strength for a new quest. No more desire for a new mountain to climb. The very thought of a new beginning feels not exciting, but overwhelming. And so, you have embraced the idea of an ending as a kind of rest, a release from the arduous demands of the journey, even if it is a rest tinged with the sadness of a story that feels incompletely or disappointingly fulfilled. The world, my child, with its worship of youth and its linear view of life, reinforces this narrative of endings. It assigns certain adventures to certain seasons of life, and it quietly suggests that when the seasons are over, the time for adventure is past. It celebrates the beginning of the story, but it has little to say about the profound and glorious potential of its later chapters. And so, it has looked upon you in your present season and has perhaps offered you its congratulations on a life well lived. A phrase that, however well-intentioned, sounds to your spirit like a eulogy, a final summary of a story that is now complete. But I come to you now, my cherished traveler, as you stand at what you believe to be your journey's end. I come to you as the divine author of your story, the one who holds the entire, unabridged volume in my hands, the one who knows the plot twists that are yet to come. And I am here to shatter your sense of finality, to turn your epilogue into a thrilling new prologue, to speak a truth so radical and so full of life that it will cause your weary spirit to leap with a new and unexpected hope. And this is my truth for you. My beloved, everything you have lived up to this point, every trial, every triumph, every joy, every sorrow, all of it has been merely the prelude. Your true journey, your great and magnificent adventure, has only just begun. You have been reading the introductory chapters. My child, the necessary backstory that has been designed to forge your character, to teach you wisdom, to prepare you for the main plot. You have mistaken the training ground for the quest itself. You have believed the character development to be the entirety of the narrative. But I, your author, I have been using your entire life up to this point to prepare you, to equip you for the magnificent journey that I am in this very season, now calling you to begin. The story is not over. My child, in truth, it has barely started. I know how this must sound to your weary heart, but the weariness you feel is the fatigue from the training, not from the true journey. The sense of finality you have embraced is an illusion, born of a limited perspective that can only see the road behind, not the vast and beautiful landscape that I'm now unveiling before you. I do not discount the significance of the chapters you have already lived. They have been real, they have been powerful, and they have been essential. But their essential nature was in their preparatory purpose. Every lesson you learned, every strength you gained, every wound that was healed has been a form of your sacred equipping for the greater journey that lies ahead. You are not at the end. You are at the starting gate. And the race I have set before you is one of more profound purpose, more vibrant joy, and more glorious significance than anything you have yet experienced. So, let this divine and startling truth begin to awaken your spirit from its slumber of resignation. Let go of the heavy weight of a finished story. You are not a completed book to be placed upon a shelf. You are the hero of a magnificent epic, and the most exciting, the most meaningful, the most triumphant chapters are the ones that are yet to be written. The journey is not over, my beloved. It has only just begun. Yes, my cherished child, as you begin to absorb the startling, life-altering truth that your journey is not over, but has only just begun, let me now expand your vision to comprehend the magnificent scope of the story I am writing for you. You have been looking at the single, slim volume of your past, believing it to be the entirety of your life's work, a book whose final page you have already reached. But I, your divine author, who hold all your days in my hands, I see a different reality. What you have been holding is not the complete work, my beloved. It is merely the prologue. And I, in my love, am now holding before you a vast, magnificent, and as yet unwritten series of new volumes, filled with chapters of such profound purpose, such deep joy, and such glorious adventure that they will make your prologue, as precious as it has been, seem like a mere whisper before a grand symphony. My eyes see the unwritten chapters, and I tell you, the greatest parts of your story are yet to come. You have measured the significance of your life by the story that has already been told, but a prologue. My child, is not the main story. Its purpose is to introduce the main character, to establish the setting, to hint at the central themes, and to provide the necessary backstory for the great epic that is to follow. Your life, up to this point, with all its trials and all its triumphs, has been this sacred prologue. Your struggles have introduced the theme of my faithfulness. Your joys have introduced the theme of my goodness. Your entire journey has been the beautiful, intricate, and absolutely necessary work of forging you, the hero, into the person you needed to become to be ready for the main plot, the true quest. That is now about to unfold. You have not been living the story. You have been preparing for it. The world cannot see these unwritten chapters. My child, it sees only the single, slim volume of your past, and it judges the entirety of your life by its contents. It sees the epilogue of that first volume and mistakes it for the end of the entire series. It does not have the eyes to perceive the vast, beautiful, and hope-filled library of your future that exists in my heart and my mind. But you, my beloved, are now being invited to see with my eyes, to look beyond the finished prologue, and to gaze with a new and holy anticipation at the magnificent, unwritten chapters that I am now ready to begin writing with you. What do these unwritten chapters hold, my precious one? They hold a purpose that is deeper and more significant than any you have yet known. In your prologue, you were learning about your own strengths, your weaknesses, your gifts, but in the main story, you will now begin to use those gifts, those strengths, that hard-won wisdom, for a purpose that is far greater than yourself. You will become my instrument of healing in a broken world, a conduit of my love to weary souls, a beacon of my hope in a dark place. The journey ahead is not just about your own becoming. It is about your divine deployment. It is about your unique and beautiful life, becoming a source of profound blessing in my kingdom. The prologue was about you. The main story is about what I will now do through you. These unwritten chapters also hold a joy that is more profound, more resilient, and more lasting than any you have yet experienced. The joys of your prologue, while beautiful, were often dependent on circumstances, on the fulfillment of earthly desires. But the joy I am writing into your future chapters is the joy of a deep, abiding communion with me. The joy of a life lived in the center of my will. The joy of a purpose-fulfilled existence. It is a joy that is not diminished by trials, but is often, in fact, deepened by them. It is a joy that is not a fleeting emotion, but a constant, underlying reality, a wellspring of my own spirit, bubbling up from the very core of your being. Do not believe the lie of your weariness, my child, the lie that tells you that you are too old, too tired, too spent to embark on a new adventure. The energy you have expended thus far has been the energy of the training ground, but the energy for the true journey, for these new chapters, will not come from your own finite reserves. It will come from me. I will be your strength. I will be your vitality. I will be the wind in your sails. I am calling you not to a journey of your own striving, but to a grace-filled adventure where you will be carried, upheld, and empowered in every step by my own limitless, divine energy. Your past has prepared you. My future for you will empower you. I am the author, my child, and I am a writer of epics, not of short, tragic tales. I delight in surprising my heroes, in revealing plot twists of grace that they could never have seen coming, in writing final chapters that are more glorious than anything they could have imagined at the beginning. And the epic of your life is my beloved work in progress. I invite you now to turn the page. Close the cover on the prologue of your life, not with a sense of finality, but with a spirit of profound gratitude for the preparation it has been. And then, with a heart filled with a new and trembling excitement, open the cover to Volume 2, to the fresh, clean, unwritten pages of the magnificent new chapter that begins today. The title of this chapter is My True Journey Begins. Let go of the need to know the entire plot. Trust me, your author. I promise you, the story I'm about to write in your life will be one of hope, of purpose, of adventure, and of a deep and lasting joy. Your journey has not ended. My cherished child, it has only just begun. And the best, I assure you, the very best, is yet to come. And so, my cherished child, as you stand at the beginning of this new and magnificent volume of your life, your spirit tingling with the hope of the unwritten chapters, let us now look back together with new eyes upon the prelude that has brought you to this very moment. For you have looked upon your past and have seen it as the entirety of your story, a tale now finished. But I, your loving author, desire to reveal to you its true and sacred purpose. Everything you have experienced up to this point, my beloved, every trial, every triumph, every joy, every sorrow, every failure, every victory has not been the main journey itself. It has been the necessary and masterfully orchestrated prelude to your true quest. It has been your training, your character development, the essential backstory required to forge you into the hero you needed to become for the grand and glorious adventure that is now, finally, about to begin. A great quest requires a prepared hero. My child, a shallow, untested, and naive soul cannot be entrusted with a journey of eternal significance. And so, in my infinite love and wisdom, I have used the entirety of your life thus far as your personal and perfect training ground. I have been your divine mentor, your loving trainer, overseeing your preparation, allowing the very circumstances of your life to become the curriculum for your becoming. Nothing has been wasted, my beloved. Every single experience has been a vital lesson, a necessary strengthening, a purposeful shaping, all in preparation for the great journey I am now calling you to. Consider your trials, my child, the very experiences you have so often lamented. You saw them as obstacles, as tragedies, as signs of your failure. But I saw them as your training regimen, the seasons of hardship, of pressure, of adversity, were my sacred gymnasium, designed to build within you a spiritual strength, a resilience that could not have been forged in any other way. You were developing the endurance you will now need to persevere on the long and sometimes difficult road of your true calling. You were building a fortitude that will enable you to withstand the challenges of your quest without crumbling. Your trials were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to make you strong, to prepare you for the magnificent weight of your destiny and your failures. My precious one, the moments that have brought you such shame and regret, they were not mistakes in your story. They were essential lessons in your curriculum. In your stumbles, you learned the profound and necessary lesson of humility, a quality that is absolutely essential for any true hero of my kingdom. In your mistakes, you learned about your own limitations, your own need for a wisdom beyond your own, a guidance greater than your own understanding. And in your experience of my grace, in the aftermath of your failures, you learned the beautiful, foundational truth of my unconditional love, my restorative power. Your failures, my child, have not disqualified you. They have qualified you. They have made you wise. They have made you humble. They have made you compassionate. And they have taught you to rely not on yourself, but on me, the most vital lesson of all for the journey ahead. What of your triumphs, my beloved, the moments of success, of blessing, of joy? These were not just fleeting pleasures. They, too, were part of your preparation. They were my way of equipping you, of giving you a taste of my goodness, of building your confidence in my faithfulness. They were the moments where I placed new tools in your hands, the tool of a new skill, the resource of a new relationship, the gift of a new insight. And they were meant to be a foretaste of the even greater joy, the even more profound fulfillment that is to be found on the path of your true quest. Your triumphs were not the destination. My child, they were the provisions for the greater journey and the relationships you have had, both the beautiful and the painful. They have been a crucial part of your training. In your loving connections, you have learned about the beauty of fellowship, the joy of giving and receiving. In your painful relationships, in the betrayals and the abandonments, you have learned the hard but necessary lessons of forgiveness, of setting boundaries, of finding your ultimate worth and belonging not in another human being, but in me alone. Every relationship has been a classroom, teaching you more about love, about grace, about your own heart, and about mine. All of it, my child, has been preparing you for the divine connections, the purposeful partnerships that will be a part of the magnificent new journey I am calling you to. Your entire life up to this point, my beloved, has been the backstory of your hero. It has given you a history, a depth, a character that is rich, complex, and utterly unique. And it's this very backstory that will give your true quest its power and its meaning. You are not a blank slate embarking on an adventure. You are a seasoned traveler, a tested warrior, a wise and compassionate soul. And everything you have been through has made you perfectly, exquisitely ready for what comes next. I, your author, your trainer, your loving God, I have been with you in every moment of this prelude. I have overseen your curriculum. I have celebrated your progress. I have comforted you in your struggles. And my heart has been filled with a profound and joyful pride as I have watched you grow, as I have seen you become the very hero I was creating you to be. The preparation has been long. It has been arduous. But I tell you, my child, it has been perfect. You are ready. So, let go now of any lingering regret for your past. my precious one. See it now as I see it as the beautiful, necessary, and perfectly orchestrated prelude to your true and magnificent life's quest. Nothing was wasted. Every tear, every smile, every struggle, every victory has been a meaningful and essential part of your becoming. And now, the prelude is complete. The training is over. The backstory has been written, and the first, glorious page of the main adventure, the true journey of your life, is now turning. Your journey, my beloved, has only just begun. And so, my cherished child, my well-prepared hero, having come to understand that your entire life thus far has been a sacred and necessary prelude to your true quest, the moment has now arrived to turn your gaze from the road behind and to look with me upon the magnificent, unfolding path that lies ahead. The training is complete. The backstory has been written. The character has been forged. And now, the great and glorious adventure for which you have been so meticulously prepared is about to begin. I desire to give you now, my beloved, a glimpse of this road ahead, to describe for you the nature of this new journey. For it is a journey of such greater purpose, such deeper intimacy, and such more significant impact that it will make all the trials of your prelude seem like a small and distant thing. The first quality of this new journey, my child, is that it is a journey of profound and expansive purpose. In the prelude of your life, the primary focus of my work was in you. I was shaping your character, healing your wounds, teaching you my ways, forging your strength. But now, as you step into this new chapter, the focus begins to shift. The work I will now do will be not just in you, but through you. You have been a vessel in the making. Now, you will begin to be a vessel in the pouring out. You have been a student in the classroom. Now, you will become my co-laborer in the field. The purpose that now unfolds before you is one that is intimately connected to the very lessons you learned in your prelude. The compassion that was carved into your heart by your own sorrows will now become a mighty river of my healing and comfort, flowing from your life to touch the dry and barren places in the lives of others. The wisdom that was distilled from your failures and your stumbles will now become a clear and guiding light, offering my perspective and my truth to those who are lost in their own confusion. The quiet, resilient strength that was forged in your long endurance will now become a source of stability and hope for those who feel they're about to be overwhelmed by their own storms. Do you see, my child? The very things that were your deepest trials are now being transformed into your most powerful gifts. The very tools you will use to fulfill your magnificent, new, and outwardly focused purpose. This is a journey that moves beyond your own story and begins to intersect in a beautiful and redemptive way with the stories of many others. Secondly, my beloved, this new journey upon which you are embarking is one of a deeper, more mature intimacy with me. In the prelude, our relationship was often that of a teacher and a student, a father and a young child. I was leading you, protecting you, often correcting you, teaching you the foundational lessons of faith and trust. But now, because you have been tested, because your character has been proven, because your reliance on me has been made deep and true, our relationship can shift into a new and more profound dimension. I now begin to relate to you, not just as my child, but as my trusted friend, my cherished partner, my beloved co-laborer in my kingdom's work. This is a journey where I will begin to share with you more of the secrets of my own heart. I will give you a greater insight into my purposes for the world around you. I will entrust you with greater responsibilities, not as burdens, but as invitations into a deeper partnership with me. Our communion will move from one of simple petition and provision to one of shared vision, of collaborative purpose. We will walk this new road together, my child, hand in hand, heart to heart, as true companions on a glorious and shared adventure. This is the intimacy that your prelude has prepared you for, a level of friendship with your God that is one of the greatest and most beautiful rewards for a life of faithful endurance. And finally, my precious one, this new journey is one of a more significant and lasting impact. The triumphs of your prelude, while beautiful, may have been largely personal victories, an overcome fear, a learned lesson, a personal breakthrough. But the triumphs of the journey ahead will have an eternal and exponential impact. The fruit you will now begin to bear will be a fruit that nourishes many, a fruit that will last for all of eternity. When you, operating in your new purpose and from your deep intimacy with me, speak a word of my hope to a despairing soul, you are initiating a triumph whose ripples will extend far beyond what you can see. When you, from the wellspring of your own redeemed pain, offer a hand of true compassion to one who is broken, you are participating in a victory of eternal significance. Your life, my child, is becoming a powerful force for my kingdom, an instrument through which I will bring my light, my healing, my redemption into the darkness of the world. The legacy you were once so anxious about is now being effortlessly, beautifully, and powerfully established, not by your own striving, but by the simple, faithful outflow of the magnificent person you have become. This is the road that lies before you, my beloved. It is a road of purpose, a road of intimacy, a road of impact. It is the beginning of the great why, for which your entire life has been a preparation. I know it may seem daunting, but do not be afraid. The very prelude that has brought you to the starting line has perfectly equipped you for the journey ahead. You have the strength, you have the wisdom, you have the character, and most importantly, you have me, your constant guide, your unfailing provider, your most loving companion. So, let your heart be filled with a new and holy excitement. The epilogue is over, the prelude is complete, and the great, magnificent, and glorious adventure of your true journey has only just begun. Step onto the path with me now, my child, with a heart full of hope, of wonder, and of joyful, expectant trust. For the road ahead is beautiful beyond your imagining, and we will walk it together. And so, my cherished child, with the vision of this new and glorious road now set before you, with your spirit stirred by the promise of a journey of greater purpose, deeper intimacy, and more significant impact, the moment has come to take your first steps, but to walk this new path well, my beloved, requires a new way of walking, a new posture of the heart, for the very prelude that has so perfectly prepared you with strength and wisdom also carries with it a potential hindrance, the cynicism of experience, the weariness of a soul that feels it has seen it all. And so, my loving guidance to you as you stand at the beginning of this magnificent new adventure Is this you must learn to walk as a beginner again. I invite you now to let go of the weary knowingness of your past and to embrace this new journey with a profound humility, the wide-eyed wonder, and the joyful, trusting spirit of a child who is setting out on their very first quest, holding fast to their father's hand. Your past journey, the prelude, has been arduous. It has taught you many hard lessons about the world, about people, and about your own limitations. And in that learning, a certain world weariness, a protective cynicism may have taken root in your heart. You may have learned to approach new things with caution, to temper your hopes with a dose of realism, to protect your heart from further disappointment by not allowing it to become too excited, too expectant. This has been a necessary defense mechanism for a season, a way of surviving the difficult passages of your training. But that season is now over, my child, and to carry that old, cynical, self-protective posture into this new journey would be to walk with a heavy, unnecessary burden. It would be to view the new, sunlit landscape of your promise through the old, dark glasses of your past pain. I am calling you now to lay down that tired cynicism. I am inviting you to take off those dark glasses and to look upon this new path with fresh eyes, with a beginner's mind. A beginner does not assume they know the way. A beginner is teachable, open, receptive to new instructions. A beginner is filled not with the jadedness of past experience, but with a sense of wonder and awe at the adventure that is unfolding. This is the posture of heart that will allow you to receive the fullness of the new thing I am doing in your life. To embrace this beginner's mind, my beloved, requires a profound humility. It is the humility to acknowledge that despite all you have learned, you do not know what this new chapter holds. It is the willingness to let go of your old strategies for survival, the coping mechanisms that served you in the past, and to trust that I will give you new, and often different, strategies for this new journey. The way I led you through the wilderness may not be the way I lead you into the promised land. The strength I forged in you through endurance may now be called to express itself in a new and joyful action. You must be willing to be taught anew, my child, to be led in ways that may feel unfamiliar, to let go of your old maps, and to trust only the moment-by-moment guidance of my spirit. This new journey is also an invitation into a childlike wonder. Remember the wonder you felt as a small child when the world was a place of magic, of discovery, of limitless possibility. Your long and difficult journey may have stolen some of that wonder from you, replacing it with a pragmatic and sometimes sorrowful realism. But I am the God of all wonder, my child, and I delight in restoring this precious quality to the hearts of my children. As you step onto this new path, I invite you to look for me, for my artistry, for my surprising grace. In every moment, look for the unexpected blessing, the divine appointment, the small miracle. Cultivate a heart that is expectant of my goodness, that is ready to be surprised by my love. For this new journey will be filled with wonders, my beloved, and you will see them most clearly when you are looking for them with the wide, expectant eyes of a cherished and adventurous child. Learning to walk as a beginner again means you must trust me, your guide, with a new and deeper surrender. In your prelude, your trust was often a tenacious clinging to me in the midst of a storm. But now, the nature of your trust can shift. It can become a more peaceful, more restful, more joyful trust. It is the trust of a child who holds their father's hand not in a grip of terror, but with a relaxed and happy confidence, knowing that their father is strong, that he knows the way, and that his only desire is their good and their delight. You are free to enjoy the journey now, my child, to look at the beauty around you, to engage with those you meet along the way, for you are no longer burdened with the primary responsibility of navigating the path or protecting yourself from its dangers. That is my role. Your role is simply to walk with me, to talk with me, to enjoy our companionship, and to trust my loving, all-wise guidance. I am with you, my precious one, to teach you how to walk in this new way. When the old cynicism tries to reassert itself, my spirit will remind you of the new wonders I have shown you. When you are tempted to rely on your own old, weary wisdom, I will present you with a situation that can only be navigated by a fresh impartation of my own. I will patiently, lovingly, retrain your spirit to live from a place of humble, joyful, and wonder-filled trust. So take your first step onto this new road, my beloved, and do so as a beginner. Let go of what you think you know. Embrace the beautiful vulnerability of not having all the answers, and open your heart to the glorious, unfolding adventure that lies before you, an adventure whose every twist and turn will be guided by my hand, whose every landscape will be filled with my beauty, and whose ultimate destination is a joy more profound than you have ever yet known. Your journey has only just begun, and the best way to walk it is as a beloved beginner, holding fast to the hand of your eternal, loving, and all-knowing God. And so, my cherished child, as you learn to walk this new path with the humble, wonder-filled heart of a beginner, as you release your own weary cynicism and begin to trust me, your loving guide, for this new and glorious quest, a profound and beautiful transformation occurs in the very atmosphere of your soul. The old, heavy weight of a finished story begins to lift, replaced by the exhilarating lightness of an unfolding adventure. The gray sadness of an epilogue gives way to the vibrant colors of a magnificent new chapter. This, my beloved, is the deep and abiding joy of an unfolding adventure, the glorious freedom that comes from knowing, with an unshakable certainty, that the very best is yet to come. Remember the sorrow that once clung to your spirit. My child, the grief for a past that you could not change, the regret for choices made, the mourning for a story that you believed had ended in disappointment. As you embrace the truth that your entire past has been but a purposeful prelude, that grief is miraculously transformed into gratitude. You no longer need to look back with regret, for you now see my loving, skillful hand in every part of your preparation. You can now thank me for the very trials that forged your strength, for the very failures that taught you humility, for the very waiting that cultivated your patience. The past is no longer a source of pain that holds you captive. It is a beautiful and finished prologue that you can now look upon with a new and profound sense of peace, of awe, and of gratitude for the perfect wisdom of its author. This is the first great freedom of your new journey. You are liberated from the heavy chains of regret for your past, and as you are freed from the past, my beloved, you are simultaneously liberated into a new and glorious excitement for for your future. The old, weary resignation that told you your best days were behind you is utterly consumed by the thrilling, joyful anticipation of the adventure that is just beginning. Your life is no longer a story to be endured, but a magnificent epic to be explored. Each new day dawns not with the old sense of dread, but with a new and holy curiosity. What will my author write today? What new part of the quest will be revealed? What new landscape of his grace will I be invited to discover? This sense of joyful anticipation, my child, is a beautiful and life-giving energy. It restores the youthfulness of your spirit. It puts a new light in your eyes, a new spring in your step. It is the joy of a life that knows its story is not winding down, but is, in fact, just getting started. This joy, my precious one, is a resilient joy, for it is not dependent on your circumstances being easy or predictable. It is the joy of the quest itself. It is the joy of the journey with me. It is the deep satisfaction that comes from knowing you are in a divine adventure, a purposeful mission, a story that has eternal significance. Therefore, even when you encounter new challenges on this path, you can face them with a different spirit. They are no longer just frustrating obstacles, but are now seen as part of the epic adventure, the necessary dragons that every hero must face, the exciting plot and twists that make the story all the more compelling. The adventure itself, with all its ups and downs, becomes a source of profound, enduring joy. Living in this unfolding adventure also brings a new freedom from the need to have everything figured out. In your former, finished story, you may have felt a pressure to have all the answers, to present a life that was neat, orderly, and understood. But now, you are free to embrace the mystery. You are on a quest, an exploration, and it is perfectly acceptable, even beautiful, not to know what lies around the next bend. You are free to live with a new openness, a new curiosity, a new and humble reliance on me, your guide. The burden of being the all-knowing expert of your own life is lifted, replaced by the joyful freedom of being the beloved. Trusting adventurer, I delight in your joy, my child, and your newfound excitement for the journey as your loving author and guide. My heart is filled with pleasure as I watch you embrace this new chapter with such a beautiful, childlike spirit of wonder. I delight in surprising you, in leading you to unexpected vistas of my goodness, in revealing new plot twists of my grace that you could never have anticipated. Our journey together, my beloved, is a source of my own divine joy. So live in this beautiful reality, my precious one. Live in the joy of your unfolding adventure. Let go of the last vestiges of your old, weary resignation, and let your heart be filled with a constant, vibrant, and joyful excitement for the future, for your story is not over. Your greatest adventures are still before you. Your most significant triumphs are yet to be won. Your most profound joys are yet to be experienced. And your journey, my cherished child, has only just begun. And so, my cherished child, my beloved adventurer, as you stand at the beginning of this new and glorious quest, your heart filled with the joyful anticipation of the road ahead, let me now expand your vision to its ultimate, eternal horizon. For the truth that your journey has only just begun is a truth that extends far beyond the confines of your earthly life. The new beginning you are now embarking upon is not just another chapter, but the first chapter of an eternal saga. Your entire life in this world, my beloved, with all its preludes, its trials, and its triumphs, is but the first, beautiful, and foundational volume in a magnificent, unending library of your becoming. The journey of your heart with mine, my child, does not end with your final breath. It simply, gloriously, continues into an eternity of ever-unfolding adventure, of ever-deepening love, of ever-increasing joy. This is the ultimate answer to the fear of endings that has so often haunted your spirit. The world has taught you that death is the final and greatest ending, the ultimate conclusion to every story. But in my kingdom, my child, there are no final endings for those who are mine, only glorious transitions. Your earthly death will not be the closing of your book, but merely the turning of a page. The beautiful, seamless transition from Volume 1 to Volume 2. It will be the moment you step from the path of faith into the glorious reality of sight. The moment you move from my guiding presence beside you to my immediate, all-encompassing presence around you. The journey does not end. It is simply elevated to a new and more magnificent dimension. The story we are writing together, my child, is a story that will echo in eternity. The character that has been forged in you through the prelude of your earthly life. The wisdom you have gained, the compassion you have cultivated, the love you have learned to express. These are not temporary qualities for a temporary existence. They are the eternal substance of your soul, the very being you will carry with you into my everlasting kingdom. And there, my beloved, your journey of growth, of discovery, of becoming, will continue in ways you cannot yet imagine. For my own being, my child, is a boundless and infinite and beautiful landscape to be explored, and our eternal life together will be an unending journey into the very heart of who I am. We will explore the endless vistas of my love. We will scale the magnificent peaks of my wisdom. We will sail upon the vast, peaceful oceans of my grace. There will always be more to see, more to learn, more to experience, more to delight in. Your journey has only just begun because your destination is me. And I am an infinite, inexhaustible, and endlessly fascinating God. The adventure, my beloved, will never, ever grow old. My commitment to you, my precious one, is an eternal commitment. I am not just the author of the first volume of your life. I am the author of your entire, eternal saga. I will be your constant companion, your joyful guide, your most intimate friend, not just for your earthly years, but for all of the ages to come. Our relationship, this beautiful hand-in-hand walk we have begun, will only deepen, only grow richer, only become more beautiful as eternity unfolds. The intimacy you have discovered here is but a foretaste of the magnificent face-to-face communion that awaits you. Let this eternal perspective give you a new and profound peace as you live out your remaining earthly chapters. You are free from the frantic pressure to accomplish it all in this short life. You are liberated from the fear that you are running out of time, for you have all of eternity, my child, to become all that I have created you to be, to fulfill all the purposes I have placed upon your heart. This life is not a frantic sprint to a finish line. It is the first, beautiful, and purposeful leg of an eternal marathon, a race that is run not with anxiety, but with a joyful, peaceful, and confident stride, knowing that the journey itself is the prize, and that its destination is a love that has no end. This is the ultimate reframing of your story. What once felt like a finished tale, you now know to be a mere prologue. What you once feared was the end. You now know is only the beginning. The weariness of your past is being replaced by the energy of an eternal future. The sadness of your losses is being eclipsed by the joy of an infinite gain. So live this new chapter, this first chapter of your true quest, with a heart full of this magnificent, eternal hope. Live it with a holy boldness, a joyful courage, a peaceful confidence. For your story is not a small or insignificant one. It is a great and glorious epic, a sacred symphony, an eternal adventure, and it has only just begun. And I, your God, your author, your guide, your most loving and eternal companion, I am with you now, and I will be with you always, as we journey together into the magnificent, unending story of our love. And now, my cherished traveler, as you stand at the beginning of this endless, beautiful road, let your spirit be utterly at peace. The story is not over. The grandest chapters are yet unwritten. The weight of the past has been transformed into the firm ground for your future. Rest in the glorious, expansive hope of this truth. Your journey is a magnificent adventure, and I am with you, hand in hand, for every step, from this moment into the endless, joyful expanse of eternity.